Happy Halloween, Starlings! To anyone and everyone celebrating, I'm wishing you a fun and safe evening full of tricks and treats. I arrive bringing information, but also art. And this art, in particular, is a study of a Frederic Stanley piece known as the Halloween Scare. It actually caught my eye here on YouTube last year on a compilation of vintage Halloween songs. I love everything about it, from the expressions to the colors to the flow of the fabric, and I thought it would make a good study and a lot of fun to recreate in my own style. It's also one of my favorite illustrations I've done to date now. I had a blast playing around with the lighting and texture, and even found those intimidating cloth folds fun to do. The shoes, however, were not fun to do, as very apparent to the lack of footage of that stage during this process. They took an embarrassing amount of time to complete, and my attempts at it could probably fill its own video. If any of you have any suggestions for artists to study off of, I'd love to hear them. I still really want to finish a full JC Leindecker art study. Now, as discussed in my last video, I'll be going into some brief details about my absence, but more than anything, I'll just be chatting about why I decided to return to making content this way again in the first place, and that answer's a little complex. I'm aware of those who have been wanting to see me back, and I've been aware since I've left. To be quite honest, I don't know the exact reason why I stopped making videos in the first place. The last few years have been a bit of a struggle in more ways than one, and in a lot of ways we all are very much aware of. But personally, I've gone through a lot of growing pains, a lot of ups and downs in my relationship with myself and my creativity. As time passed, my online presence dimmed to a point where I wasn't comfortable with sharing anything. For a while, I used the excuse that I was just taking time for me, but as that time stretched from months to years, I think I became too comfortable with disappearing and even cutting off contact with people I've had wonderful relationships with. My alone time gave me a lot of needed rest, but it also got me looking at the parts of myself I disliked and was deeply embarrassed of. When people asked me if I would ever return to YouTube, my answer was always a yes or a maybe if the timing was right. And to be fair, there was a lot of things going on in my personal life that were a valid hindrance to my content posting. Heck, I quit my job and moved across the country, for example. But to be completely honest, it was never really about timing. Especially when after I moved, I had time to kill with little to no obligations tying me down. It was really my relationship with being an online presence and being myself. I made so many excuses for not making content, and all of the reasons just didn't feel right to me. It all boiled down to, well, I don't really feel like I have anything interesting enough to say, so why even bother? Which is such a bogus reason not to try, and it's also just false because I have the honor of people regularly messaging me for advice or help or my thoughts on certain things, and even if I didn't have that, every point of view has value, and I miss being enthusiastic about sharing content, and I miss talking to people about art and original characters and worlds and learning with other artists. I miss the me who had the drive to do all that. Do I want to be a YouTuber? I don't know. I don't know if I can be the someone who uploads regularly and weekly and is constantly engaging with the community. I think on some level I can recognize in a way that feels right that I am a private person who enjoys creating for me and only me at times. I can't say for certain that I won't feel like disappearing after I've had my fill of YouTube again. However, I feel like stifling my voice just because I currently feel like there's no point to it. It just doesn't sit right with me. And I think I've fallen to the allure of wallowing in my own idleness just so I don't have to face the dark cloud over my own head. And I think I've had enough. Is coming back to YouTube the correct answer to that, or the solution? I don't know, but it feels right in the moment to try. And there's plenty of discomfort that comes along with this decision, but I think it's a little important. I think there is value in sitting in some discomfort for the sake of growth or for the sake of moving things forward in a time that feels stagnant. And I'm doing all this while working a full-time job, so timing was definitely not the hindrance there. I think committing myself to something that's going to force me to talk, to share my thoughts and way of doing things is something that I could really use right now, even if it's just for me. I could do all that pretty easily on Instagram or Twitter, but YouTube automatically makes things feel a little more personal. I don't know, I'd like to grow out of whatever this hesitance to exist as a person is. I'm done with it. I'm tired, man. I just want to let myself live and do things and stop being afraid of hearing my own voice. I want to give myself the opportunity to figure things out and discover what it is I really want to do. Plus, thanks to Patreon, even as it's still in its baby stages still, I've accumulated a lot of art footage. Almost 100 uploads of art footage. Tons of content I could easily use here for YouTube, and I don't see why I shouldn't use it. I think it would be great to utilize YouTube for Patreon rewards, and it would be really cool to eventually give thanks to those patrons in these videos as well. And why not? There's still a lot of things I haven't made good on. Speaking of which, let's get talking on what we can expect for the future 100%. Is drawing your OCs returning? Yep. I have one planned covering my first art fight that I did this year, and if you would like to enter your OCs to be drawn by me in the future, check the description below because I have the info there. Are my OC Spotlight / Meet the OCs videos returning? Yep, I actually have way more to talk about than ever before, so in a lot of ways my absence was going to help that series, especially Kai's video, which was supposed to be published a while ago. I have a lot more to talk about with him. So, is there a set schedule? Nope. I'm still playing everything by ear, baby. I'm currently working a full-time job, as I've said before, and I only have so many spoons to do that, art, and make videos. However, I'd like to at least meet a quota of, I don't know, 3 videos a month at least. And maybe even that is ambitious, but I don't know yet, and I won't know until I try. And luckily I have a pretty nice sized list full of things and topics planned for future videos anyway, so if anything, I am at least covered on that front. If there's anything you all would like to see me cover, leave a comment below and let me know. I'd be more than happy to expand my video idea library. In the meantime, I'm just looking forward to sharing things with you guys again, just like in general. I hope this all makes sense and it wasn't too much of a bummer to listen to, and who knows, maybe some of you will resonate with this. I don't know, life's too short to not do what you want to do, and maybe you don't know what that thing is yet, but it doesn't hurt to throw paint at the wall and see what sticks. Now that doesn't make any sense, that's spaghetti. It's supposed to be spaghetti. You throw spaghetti at the wall and see if it sticks. Of course paint would Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I need to go take a nap. I hope you have a wonderful All Hallows Eve, and if any of y'all are trick-or-treating, pick up an extra Kit Kat bar for me, will ya? I'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.